So you want to be a game designer. This is something that many students always express. Well, game design is not an easy job, but many people want to be one. It's not as easy as just creating all of the ideas. It's really being the one who understands the team's vision, can communicate the team's vision, and can design and modify the systems that fit into the team's vision. I emphasize team vision because as a game designer, you're not the one who makes all the calls and tells everyone what to do. Extra Credits actually put out a really fantastic video a while back called "So You Want to Be a Game Designer? Career Advice for Making Games." I've included the URL in the README if you want to watch this video. It's a fantastic one, maybe even to share with kids. But some of the most important skills a game designer can have. One, communication. You have to work with others constantly. The programmers, the audio engineers, the voice actors, the animators, etc. I mean, you have to be able to talk to these people to understand what challenges and problems they're facing and what they can do to help others to help reach the team's vision. Another important skill is systems thinking. You have to understand all the systems you're working with, both in the game and within your workplace, within the team that you're working with. You've got to understand how to modify these systems and how changes to one part of the system is going to affect other parts of the system as well. And lastly, but not only, creativity. Sometimes you do have to come up with ideas, but not just any idea, right? These ideas are ones that have to fit into the vision. They have to help make it a reality, and they have to know what the consequences and the kind of work it's going to take. So as an activity with your students, I think it's good for you to lead this discussion and kind of go through and ask students to imagine this in-game scenario. There's an enemy guard standing watch at a door to a building. The player has to get into the building. What solution might be available to the player? Your first few answers, which you might have to coax out, could be quite common ones. For example, kill the guard or sneak past the guard. If they're not already doing it, encourage the students to think outside the box, get a little more creative, come up with whatever ideas they may have. Hopefully you'll start getting ideas like mind control the guard or befriend the guard. Who knows what kind of wacky stuff students will come up with. Once you've collected a lot of ideas, you'll want to ask students to think about what game systems the developers would have to create to accommodate each solution. For example, to mind control the guard, you'll need to implement mind control abilities. To befriend the guard, you'll probably need some sort of socializing mechanic. Now focus on one particularly interesting idea that you collected. Silly ones actually work really well because everyone likes to think of how silly stuff works. But in my example, I'll go with the mind control implementation. Ask students to try and think of the work that would be involved to create a new mind-controlled system. You'd need a programmer to program it. You'd need an animator to animate the guard being mind-controlled. You probably need an animation of the player performing mind control. You probably need a voice actor to make the noises the guard makes when he's being mind-controlled. Above all else, you'll need to balance this ability to make sure it's not overpowered, unless that's what you want. Congratulations, the students have pretty much gone through an example scenario of modifying a game and its systems, and how their designs can affect the game overall. As a follow-up activity, you can, if you'd like, break this activity out so that each student tackles it on their own. So have them pick a game they like to play and they understand pretty well, and a particular problem that they often face in that game. For example, in the Settlers of Catan, the board game, to get more resources, you often have to trade with players, roll a die, and hope it hits your number, or trade with the game at an unfair rate. Have them come up with a totally new method to solve that problem, like maybe in Settlers of Catan, suddenly you can attack other players for resources, which kind of exists with the Thief, honestly. But hopefully the students come up with one that doesn't exist in the game. Have them go through this whole exercise of their own to figure out, what's going to be affected, who's going to be affected, come up with that list. It's going to be a great thought process and really challenge the students on their game development knowledge. And hopefully, be a great example to them of some of the work that's going to be involved to become a game designer.